here from Create Your Victorious Life, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Zingo TV, channel 250 and 251. Please remember to download both the Zingo TV app on the respective app stores on iOS or Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Zingo TV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, and the Fire TV sticks, Roku and Roku sticks, also on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. Yay! So welcome, welcome. I am so excited that you're here. Let me just introduce myself. This is our first official show of Create Your Victorious Life. My name is Cindy Gould, and I am a dual elite neuroencoding specialist, a joy catalyst, and your victorious life strategist and coach. I am an expert in fear mitigation, fear obliteration, and fear replacement. And I am also so richly blessed that I have this amazing coach and mentor and friend who is my precious friend, Donna Izzard, who is here with us today. She is, goodness gracious, an author, international speaker, women's empowerment leader. She is a woman with a vision and a mission. She is as intuitive as she is inspirational. She trains highly successful corporate business professionals and faith-based leaders to blend their expertise and brilliance into profitable, passion-fueled businesses while maintaining their full-time careers and their ministries. Revered for her ability to build a brand at the drop of an opportunity, and that is so true. Donna is masterful at devising innovative strategies to elevate people to their next level. You know, just a little bit of background. For several years, she was the business manager for a former White House ambassador. As a training and development professional in the legal industry with over 30 plus, almost 40 years probably, I think, right? Experience. She has been a mentor to women, including myself, from different cultures and backgrounds. Donna was tagged as one of the top coaches, I'm so proud of this, to watch by the Huffington Post, and most recently, within the last 6 weeks, recognized as one of the top 50 notable Black leaders by Crain's magazine. Welcome! I'm so excited you're here.
And I'm excited to be here. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be here.
Yes,
it's
yes.
Awesome.
What did I leave out?
Listen, it does. You know what? Listen. Woo. Okay, listen, what can I say? What can I say is that I'm excited to be here. Okay. Peacock proud of you, Cindy, to be here with you on your first show. I mean, you've talked about this, and I'm excited that you would ask me to be a part of this special time for you. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm Peacock proud.
Thanks.
Proud.
Such a privilege.
You are a dear, sister. I call you, my sunshine. Okay. You're always a smiling, right? Sunshine.
Thank you. I think that's, it's interesting because between obviously knowing who I am, and who we are as daughters of God, the other piece that brings that sunshine is my aloha spirit. Thank you to my parents and my family. So that's exciting. I love the yellow because you're bringing the sunshine from New Jersey. Woo! Good job. Yes. I want to kick us off with a very specific question today. What does a victorious life look like to you, Donna? What does it look like to you?
Wow. What does a victorious life look like to me? Mm-hmm. Well, for me, right? For me, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. I believe it has everything to do with belief. Yes. It has everything to do with obedience. And it has everything to do with honor.
Yes.
That is what a victorious life looks like to me.
Thank you.
It has to start with, what do you believe? Do you believe that you're victorious?
Yes.
Right? It has to start with, you can't be obedient if you don't believe. Right. Okay? And then it talks, for me, living a victorious life, I have to honor the gift of who I am. All of those 3 words, belief, obedience, honor.
Yep.
They're simple words, but they're words full of energy and they're words full of power. You
Yes.
can't be victorious if you don't believe it. You can't be victorious if you're not obedient to believe in who you are. And you
Yes.
can't be victorious if you don't even honor the gift of who you are. So I could go, I could stay right there, okay?
Well, before we dig in any deeper there, because yes, and you know what's funny is because I've hung out with you so much, I always come equipped with a pen, paper, because you always drop so much gold and these beautiful nuggets that are such blessings. So let's start though. Let's go all the way back to your childhood, because I want everybody that's listening to really get the grasp of where you started and for them to understand what most people don't understand. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something, right? And one of the things that is really a mission for me is to help people to stop tripping over their traumas, right? And to really ride those waves in their life into their victorious life and to create exactly what you're saying. And in order to do that, you have to believe. So let's go back to that little girl. Please share for a few minutes your story from where you came from.
Wow. So my story.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
story is little black girl growing up in Harlem. Harlem, I call it, people say Harlem, New York. No, I call it Harlem, USA. Okay. Where the famous Apollo Theater, resides, right? The famous
Yeah.
Apollo Theater. But growing up as a young girl in Harlem, right? Growing up at a time where during the drug era, right? Growing up at a time when, Harlem was infested with drugs.
Right.
There were a lot of young people, I'm dying from drugs. Then there was a crack era. There's a lot of that going on. But as a young girl, something happened to me as well during my time growing up in Harlem. At the age of 7, I went to visit my aunt. My aunt, with my cousins, and we went outside. And so we grew up in a time in Harlem that they had these playgrounds, right? Playgrounds, believe it or not, they didn't have what they have today, rubber padding on the ground. It was cement. But they
Right.
also had the swings that you could play on. Believe it or not, why would anybody even think of this? But the swings were all made of steel. Steel.
Wow.
Okay? They weren't made of rubber or wood. They were made of steel.
Wow.
And this is important for me to share with you because one weekend while I was visiting my aunt, outside playing with my cousins, my sister who was in one of these swings was calling me to come to her. As I came to her, the swing, as it was coming to it, it knocked me out. And when
Wow.
it knocked me out, it knocked out my permanent teeth.
Oh.
Imagine,
Hmm.
7 years old, you have new teeth, knocks out my front teeth, my permanent teeth. We were poor. We were on Medicaid. So
Right.
from the age of 7 until I turned 17 years old, I had no front teeth in my mouth.
Wow.
So imagine growing up in Harlem, being bullied, right?
Right.
Even in your own family, saying, "Oh, she's." I would hear this. I would hear this from adults. She's pretty, but she doesn't have any front teeth. So I would walk around not smiling,
Aw.
but I had a reserve inside of me. I knew that I was somebody special, and even though I had gone through this period of my childhood of not having my self-esteem was shot.
Right.
Being bullied, they would call me Snaggletooth, all of these things. And you know what, Cindy? It was at 17 years old, because my mother couldn't afford for me to get any teeth. We were on Medicaid, we were on welfare.
Right.
You're not getting any teeth, okay?
Mm.
We lived in the time that, no, Medicaid, you lucky you got Medicaid. You're not
Exactly.
You're not getting any teeth. So at 17, I had a job because, so I was 7 years old. And even at 9 years old, I was an entrepreneur and didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. Okay. Because I would go and run errands, and I would do these things to make money. Because I had a vision. I was going to get me some teeth.
Yeah. At 9.
So I became this entrepreneur. So I wanted to work somewhere always, because I believed that I had to be the one to get my teeth.
Right.
And at 17 years old, I walked into a dentist with money saved.
Wow.
And I got myself teeth.
Wow.
That was my childhood.
Wow. And thank you for sharing that. I think about that even when what you're saying, because in our world, especially in our country now, as we know, kids are bullied for nothing. Like, they're bullied online. They're bullied because they have a freckle. I mean, it's like for nothing. And you had all these things stacked against you and legitimately had things missing, in your mouth and things like that. I can only imagine what that felt like as a little girl. And junior high is tough enough just with pimples. You know what I mean? It's tough enough with regulating your body things. Imagine what that was like. So what carried you? You said very profoundly you had a vision. So I'm getting my teeth. I'm getting this handled. Yes. What carried you through those times though? Because I would say very triumphantly you walked into a dentist's office and got your teeth handled, right?
Yes.
So what actually kept you from falling apart, kept you from staying focused and you lived in a drug infested area in the projects. I mean, you're in Harlem, USA, and you have all those things. What kept you from even self-harm?
I was an avid reader. And I wasn't like most little girls. I just was not. Okay. I was not like everyone else. I had 4 sisters, right? I'm one of 5. Had 4 sisters, and they always did things that everyone else did. They went outside, they played with other people,
right.
They played with dolls, they did that. I never played with dolls. I didn't do what my sisters did. I didn't look at cartoons.
Wow.
So to this day, I don't eat breakfast because I didn't want cereal or milk. And my mother, oh, you don't want cereal or milk? You too good for cereal or milk? Then you eat nothing.
Got it.
So to this day, I'm not a breakfast eater.
Wow.
So from an early age, there was something in me. My mother would say, "You're not like my other kids." And I would, okay. My mother was a very strong woman, single woman, raising 5 girls in Harlem on welfare. But it was my mother. I watched my mother get off of welfare, go back to school, get her master's degree in nuclear medicine. Okay, I watched that. So because I watched my mother, I knew what I could do. And I was an avid reader. So when all the other kids was going outside playing and doing everything else, I would go to the library and I would read. I would get lost in my books. I would get lost in the world that opened up for me. And it was then that I became a Black history buff, right? I was stuck on, civil rights. I was stuck on, Harriet Tubman. I tell people all the time, I'm the modern day Harriet Tubman. I'm here to free you. I promise you I am. I'm here to free your mind. Okay?
Love it.
Kept me, my mother who, very strong woman, strong-willed woman, and she did not let me think that I wasn't beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't have teeth in my mouth. However, I also knew something that I learned today from a friend of mine's, a sister friend of mine, that she always teaches people you got to be a part of your own rescue. So I was being a part of my own rescue.
100%.
I was being a part of my own rescue.
To that point, one of the things that I'm so passionate about is I just want to aid you to get there. You need to rescue yourself. You need to be the hero of your own story and be resourceful, which you clearly were. With Mother's Day next weekend, what's really cool, I see a synergy here that I didn't know that about your mother. And so there are 7 of us kids in our household. And my parents divorced when I was a senior in high school. So for me, that, and I'm the third of 7. And so, and my mother, we didn't even know at the time that she hadn't even, I don't believe she even completed high school. We didn't know that. So she goes back to college after this, the youngest one of us, my brother Tim, graduates. She actually goes and to teach herself, because, you go through the basics. She ended up being teaching at the university, dean, I think she's the dean of psychology, all these different things. I mean, fabulous, beautiful career. And she's got such a heart. What was so interesting, the things she taught me, just watching how innovative and resourceful she was, because as she's going back, you have to take all your basics. And she's like, I don't know what this is, like science, all the basic things. So she would go to your place, the library, such a brilliant resource for us, right? So she would go there and she would read 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade books to learn science basics, so that she would understand what she was being taught in college. So that, because she was the valedictorian of her university when she graduated. I know. Hello.
Wow. Oh, that's talking about a testimony. You're talking about being a part of your own rescue.
Yes.
Post a woman for that. Wow.
Exactly. Well, and then look at yourself, right? And so you look at those things. So fast forward, you get your teeth, right? You have those beautiful things happen. What changed as a result of that experience when you're 17, 18, that happens? And then what?
I made a decision that I was going to get out of Harlem. I made a decision that Harlem didn't serve me. I made a decision that I needed to get out of Harlem. I made a decision that I wanted to work, on Wall Street. I wanted to work in an office building. I wanted to work in corporate America. I didn't even know it was called corporate America. I wanted to work in corporate America. I wanted to work with computers. I did not want, I was not going to be. And, unfortunately, because of the environment, a lot of my friends were teenage moms.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends were teenage moms. And I made a decision that I was not going to be a teenage mom.
Right.
Okay. A lot of them were teenage moms. And the cycle repeated. Teenage moms and being on welfare, all of that. Right. So, for me, I made a decision. I made a decision that, I wanted more and I was going to have more.
Yes.
I believed in me.
Yes. 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 So when you did that, and when you say you made a decision, what specifically, because you and I both know belief, decide, result, right? I mean, you have to make that decision. You have to believe it. You have to walk it out. So you make this decision. Harlem doesn't serve me. That's profound. Your environment's not serving you. Some of the relationships probably as a result of being in Harlem weren't serving you. Even your precious friends that were teenage mamas, you're the result of the 5 people you hang out with. So you're going to hang out with that. You can't really expect yourself to springboard elsewhere if you're still staying in that same pond, right? Yeah. So what did you do? What specifically, like you woke up, I want to be in corporate. I mean, because I'm looking at your life now, everything you spoke to, you're doing. Right?
Amen. And it wasn't easy. And when I say, I also was a product of the environment. So although I did not have a child as a teenager, I did have a child. Wasn't married. I did have a child, but I had a child when I was 23. But when I was 23, I was working in corporate America at 23. So although I wasn't married and I had a child and my son's father left me. I became broken. I had moved to the Bronx. I lived in my own apartment. I became homeless.
Wow.
Okay. With 8 months pregnant, I was sleeping on the floor.
Wow, babe.
Okay. So, but it was at that moment that I had, because I mean, listen, I got out of Harlem. I was on top of the world. I was doing better than any of my friends, living better than any of my friends. I don't want to, I'm not putting them down, but I was
Right.
living better than my friends. My friends were still living at home with their child. They were single parents, teenage moms, whatever, living at home with their parents. However, for me, I was living in the top part of New York City, okay, that people my age couldn't afford to. But because I was in corporate America, I was making a great salary. I was living well. But because of the trauma that I had gone through of me being pregnant and my son's father leaving me,
Mm-hmm.
I became broken. I lost my identity. I no longer believed.
Mm-hmm.
I became homeless. So while I'm 8 months pregnant, sleeping on the floor after losing everything because I was so devastated that he
Right.
left me, I lose my job because I'm not going to work.
Right.
I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my high rent, right? I lose my apartment.
Right.
I'm homeless now. 8 months pregnant and homeless. And I'm sleeping on the floor.
Wow.
But it was in that moment, Cindy, that the valley moment that people talk about, the speakers they talk about, right? It was
Yep.
in that moment, that valley moment for me, while I was on the floor, I made a decision. While I was on the floor, I made a decision. And I said, I will never be on the floor again. I will
Mm-hmm.
never be in this position again. I made that decision that day. So, me having my son, I go back to work in corporate America, but I don't go to work one job. I go to work two jobs because I got to make sure that I'm able to provide for my son
Right.
and for myself.
Yes.
So all of those things are belief. You talking about victorious?
Yes.
That's the belief.
100%.
I could not do or get through any of those things if I didn't believe in me.
Yes.
And I didn't believe that I was worthy. If I did, because there was a time that when I thought my life was over, right? I'm homeless, I'm pregnant, everyone's talking about me. Oh, look at her now, right?
Right.
That devastation of that ridicule, I had to snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know that I was on my way to being victorious. I was
Okay.
on my way to living victorious. However, there has to be something inside of you. There
Yeah.
has to be something, a resolve to say, you know what? But it starts with you believing.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer, Cindy. Everything starts with your belief.
Yep. And what do you have to believe when you say, because I know we tell people that, right? You and I both, you need to believe and you need to believe in yourself. What does that look like to you? What does that really mean?
So, and that word is such a simple word, but yet a
Mhm.
powerful word. So
Mhm.
I'm a woman of faith, right? And although at the time, in that particular moment, I've always believed in God, but I thought God left me. I thought God left me. Like, God, why? I'm a nice person. Why did this happen to me? I'm nice to people. What? I questioned God. Why did you do this to me?
Right.
I'm nice to people. I'm nice to my family. I'm the only one in my family who's working in corporate America. I'm taking care of my sisters. I'm taking care of my mother. I'm doing nice things. I'm doing nice things for my friends who are living at home. They're
Mhm.
single moms. Why did this happen to me? But believe. And then one day, that day on the floor, Cindy,
Right.
was when I had to take a hold of believing in myself.
Yep.
I had to dig deep. I had to go deep in me and stop feeling sorry for myself.
Right.
Because I was feeling sorry for myself. Why did this happen to me?
Right.
I had to take charge. I had a baby that was coming. I had to take charge. Even so, here it is, I'm 8 months pregnant. It was so intense, Cindy, that at 9 months pregnant, I had to go and work a temp job so that my baby would be able to come home to a crib.
Wow. Wow.
To a crib.
Wow.
I refused to be the mother that was on welfare. I refused. I was like, look, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
I can do something more, and I'm
Right.
gonna do something more.
Saba, when you're saying, why did this happen to me, God? Why did this happen to me? So what if, and I know where you are with this, so that I feel at liberty to ask even, but even for everybody who's listening, because I believe that did it happen to you or for you? Right. And when we have to own it, like you say, to believe, how did I get myself here? And what's so cool about what you and I both know, how at both being women of faith, that disruption is exactly what it takes to get you back in alignment with your assignment so you can fulfill the vision, the mission, everything. That disruption is such, albeit painful. Boy, howdy, look what it did for your resolve.
So let
Look
me.
what it did for you. Go
So
ahead.
it's painful, but come on, Jesus. God speaks to me, in acronyms,
I know he does. I love it.
and it was a triple D. It was a triple D. It was a triple D. It was a divine disruption destiny. It was a triple D.
Yeah.
It was a divine disruption for my destiny.
Mhm.
Because when I think about where I am at today,
Yeah.
when I think about that, you know what? That experience, I
Mhm.
could say, well, okay, the enemy did it. But I can also say, look at the divineness in it.
100%.
Look at the divineness of the disruption. God needed to use me. So now I can speak to anyone who will listen
Yes.
that, it's a cliche, turn your pain into your purpose. Turn your message out of your mess.
Right.
Turn your divine disruption, right, into your destiny assignment.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's good.
It's triple D for me.
Yep.
It's triple D for me.
So good.
Okay? Triple D for me. So I don't stay stuck
Yep.
in yesterday, because yesterday has everything to do with today
Mm-hmm.
as it relates to my future tomorrow.
100%. 100%. Thank you. So I'm going to for just a quick second, because this fascinates me. Talk to me about your creating cakes and cupcakes. And it brings me joy to think of you doing this. So tell us a little bit about that whole business. It's with your sister, yes?
Yes. So,
Okay.
but this is okay. So my sister, well, I was one of five sisters,
Yes.
like one of five, right? And so my oldest sister named Jackie, she became ill, heart trouble. And
Mm.
while she was waiting for a heart, she was waiting for a heart for about 7 years. She was waiting for a heart.
Wow.
And so while she was waiting for her heart, she decided, because she loved to shop and she loved to go to Atlantic City. Okay. So she decided she couldn't work. She couldn't work because of her heart. And
Mm.
so the money that she was getting coming in she had to live with that. So she decided, you know what? She makes great. We're from the South. We're from the South, and we are all about cooking and baking. That's our love language. That's how we show you how much we love you. Okay.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
decided she can make sweet potato pies. And so my mother, who was retired, she told my mother, okay, I'm going to make sweet potato pies and you're going to make the cakes. And they started this business, right?
Wow.
And they started to sell to the different soul food restaurants in New York City.
Wow.
My sister gets her heart, and it lasts for 2 years, and she goes home to glory. I'm working in corporate America, so my sister, I said, I cannot allow my sister's her legacy was this, and I have to do something. So I made a decision that I would continue her legacy. But I said, I'm not doing sweet potato pies. I'm not doing that. Okay. I mean, I'm a corporate girl. I ain't doing all that. So I have a bestie who holds 4 titles. She is my bestie. She's my sister. She's my work colleague.
Wow.
And she's my business partner.
Wow.
Let me tell you about God. I was devastated when my sister passed away.
Of course.
I almost lost my mind. My sister who passed away, her name was Jackie. Her birthday is November 15th. Look at God. The person who I'm in business with, we work on the same job. She's my sister. She's my bestie. Her name is Jackie, and the same birthday as my sister. Tell me that there's not a God.
I love it.
So what God did for me, he gave me another Jackie.
Yeah.
That would love me. That would go into business with me. That would be my business partner.
That's so cool.
We met on a job. We met in a law firm. And like I said, we have traveled from different law firm to law firm.
Wow.
We're besties. This is how we do. We work, I'm in different areas, but we if something comes up, we'll say, hey, there's an opening over here. You need to come over here. We've done that.
Cool. That is so cool.
We've done that. And so we have been, let's say, work colleagues for 32 years.
Wow.
And so when I go to business, I said, wait a minute, I'm doing a lot of things. You're not doing nothing. So we're gonna go to culinary school. We're gonna learn how to decorate. I already know how to bake, but we're gonna learn how to decorate, and this is gonna be a revenue stream for us. And so I have multiple streams. One of those streams is a cupcake and cake business called the Traveling Cupcake. We start with prayer, we travel with love.
I love it. Talk about having a victorious life. Like, I think back, of course, I think of your precious and beautiful mother and the incredible example that she set for you, and continuing to sow your beauty into you as you were going through your childhood experiences, and then her going to school and really setting that bar high for you.
Yes.
And then even look what God did with your sister, the whole everything. And of course, you say sweet potato pie, and I'm like, yes, ma'am. Can't wait for us to hang out. But then I knew that you make the beautiful, extravagant wedding cakes and other things.
Yes.
And I knew that. Talk about victorious, though, because what you do with your legal, with your job in the legal arena, what you do with your ministry, what you do with even public speaking, the events you go to, the things you do, and the creative fun side of what you get to do also. I mean, those other things are fun. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yes.
To me, that is the epitome of victorious, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just think about it, Cindy. So many people, especially in the coaching entrepreneur space, whatever you call yourself, a coach, a boss, a CEO, entrepreneur, whatever that is, okay? So many in that space, right? And listen, to God be the glory for those who do it full time. But there are a ton of them who also tell you to fire your boss, right?
Right.
Listen, everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. Let's start there.
Right.
And listen, I tell everyone, God gives you the exit strategy. I'm a woman of faith. period. I'm a MBC. They say, well, okay, Donna, what is that, an MBC? I tell you, God speaks to me in acronyms. I am a minister with businesses and a career. MBC. And because I am a minister of the gospel, because I believe in me and I believe in God, God has given me the creativity to be able to be a minister with businesses and a career. And so God hasn't given me an exit strategy because God has positioned me in corporate America so that I can be a voice, so that I can teach those professionals. Okay, a lot of them who look like me, that you are somebody. You matter. You have intelligence. You can do all that God has created you to do. But that will not happen if they don't place a Donna Izzard in corporate America, right?
100%.
So I understand why I do what I'm doing. And so for me, and people say, well, how do you do it all? How do you do it all? And then people will be saying, oh, I'm mad with you. Why are you mad with me? Did God give you 25 hours? No, he gave me 24 just like you. I just happen to know how to manage those 24 hours. It takes a team. It takes belief that you can do it. I'm not going to let anyone tell me to only do one thing. Now, you may be only able to do one thing. I'm able to do many things and do them well.
Yes, yes, yes. And to what you said, there's so many people, like I know, I'm an entrepreneur, and yes, this is what I do full time and I love it. And this is the call for me. Now, there are many other people that are in your same situation. And on top of, and in addition to those things, you've been graced with the bandwidth to be a wife, to be a mama, to be a grandmother, to be a friend, to be supportive of other people's ventures, even what you're doing today with me, all those things. I mean, it's all of that because you've learned how to be masterful at budgeting. We know whatever we focus on, our energy follows. And so we're focused on that, and you're focused. And it's such a brilliant thing because there are a lot of people that, hey, this is what I need to do, whether it's even some of the people that you work with, that are attorneys, and they need to do that. And they have a ministry or a prayer team or a something, and they have a passion project, and they have their families. And how do they do it all? I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. And it boils down to, again, what you said a few minutes ago about belief. What do you really believe? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your time resources? What do you believe about your financial resources? What do you believe about even the vision that you were given? And you posted something the other day, and you and I talked about it, a video that you did, and you do these awesome, cool videos. It's like, if any of you follow her on Facebook, and I got to tell you, always have your notepad ready, because you're going to wish you did, or you'll pause it and go get it. And you were talking about how many people do you have to go to basically to get the confirmation for the vision that you were already given? Like, do you have to always have those other people? What do you think? What do you think? What do you, and have all these people speak into it? You are, and that boils down to what I would say, even imposter syndrome, insecurities, fear. It's always fear. Fear of rejection, hesitation, procrastination, success failure, imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and it all boils down to that. And what you've said throughout this whole, time that we've gotten to spend together today is it really boils down to believing in you. And you mentioned this in the beginning, honoring the gift of you. So speak to that. I think we have enough time that we can actually cover this. And yay, everybody, get excited. She'll be back in June, and we'll get to cover the rest of what we wanted to cover today. But we have enough time to cover this, and it's really valuable.
It's extremely valuable. So this is the campaign that I am on now. When I say campaign, it's a campaign on my mission. My mission is to speak to everyone who will listen, right? Mm-hmm. We're living in a time where we're so busy seeking affirmation, confirmation, validation from everyone but God.
Yeah.
And God validated you when he created you in his image.
Yes.
And so, because I always tell people, okay, listen, You need Jesus, you need a therapist, and you need the Donna Izzard, okay, to remind you what you are. And so, what am I reminding people of? So, Cindy, some time ago, I want to say last year, during May, I had went to Chicago to speak. And while I was in Chicago, I was in my hotel room, and I got a call. I got a call from someone, and it was someone who is a master coach, like multi-figures $1 million coach, right? That I had taken a session from. But while I was taking this session, the Lord spoke to me and told me to tell her that she should be doing something else to do with and she's an attorney, to do in the legal field. When I spoke to her after the session, she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, who are you to be telling me this? And she said to me adamantly, that is not me. Thank you, but that's not me. That's not who I am. I said, oh, okay. I was obedient. I heard Holy Spirit and I was obedient. I did my part. So I took the session in January. In March, no, it was in May, I get a call from her. She says, listen, she messaged me on Facebook. I need to speak to you right away. I hope that you're available. It's really, really important. So I'm like, okay, hey, what's up? She said, everything that you told me in January has come to pass. I've just been offered like she said, 6 figures, 2 deals to do what you told me to do.
Wow.
She said, and I just had to call you to thank you. I said, oh, okay. So she said, can you give me anything else? And I was like, are we coaching here? What are we doing? Okay. But anyway. So I was obedient and I shared some more things. I got off the phone and Holy Spirit said to me, are you ready, Donna, to honor the gift of you? When I heard that message, it broke me down.
Right.
You were waiting I gave you a gift to speak into people. I gave you a gift. You are a seer. I gave you a gift.
Right.
And because you will not operate in that gift. So this woman called to tell you what you prophesied to her came to pass. And now are you ready to honor the gift of you? When I got that download, Cindy, I'm going to be honest with you, it broke me down. And I had to repent and I had to ask God to forgive me. And it was that day that I made a vow to the Lord that I would honor the gift of who I am. Right. Because what I heard from God, when you don't honor the gift of you, you don't honor me.
Ooh.
And believers, and everyone that's looking on here, you may not be a believer, but I'm a woman. I told you I'm a woman of faith. I'm not going to apologize for that. Okay. Right. As a woman of faith, as believers, we say that we don't want to dishonor God, but we are dishonoring him when we don't honor ourselves. We don't honor ourselves in how we treat ourselves. We don't honor ourselves in the workplace. We don't honor ourselves in ministry. We don't honor ourselves in business. We won't invest in ourselves. We will not do what he's told us to do because we don't honor ourselves. And because we don't honor ourselves, we don't honor him. So I became, since May of 2022, I got on a campaign and I decided that I would honor the gift of the D.I, y'all.
There it is again, that word decided.
I made a decision that I would honor me.
Yep.
We who are mothers or grandmothers, aunties, we do everything for our families.
Yep.
We're so busy. We're so busy doing everything. And I'm not talking about self-care, so don't get it twisted. Right. So I forgot to tell y'all. Okay, y'all been listening to me for a minute. I'm straight, no chaser, and I don't drink. I'm straight, no chaser, and I don't drink. Okay, I'm gonna tell it the way it is. Okay, so many of us are so busy doing for everyone else. We will honor our spouses. We'll honor our children. We'll honor the boss. We'll honor the pastor. We will honor our friends. We will honor We'll do everything, but we will not honor the gift of who we are.
Yep.
When you honor you, you're on your way to being victorious, period.
That's right.
When you honor the gift of who you are, God has deposited gifts inside of you. But guess what? You're so busy doing everything else, you won't even honor you. And when you don't honor you, you are not living victorious. It's simple for me.
It's that simple. That
It's
is
simple for me. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. So because he taught me, I'm on a mission to teach you.
That's right.
It's time to honor the gift of who you are.
That's
What
right.
do you bring to the table? What, we have to honor ourselves even when we are intentional about showing up for ourselves.
Yes.
In ourselves. You want to start a business? Then you know what? You got money to start a business, but you simply go, I don't know if I should spend the money. Oh, I don't. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it. And just honor you.
Yep.
If God has told you to go into a collaboration, to go into a coaching session, what has he told you to do? You can't do this alone, but it starts with you believing who you are and honoring the gift of you.
That's right.
I'm intentional.
It's so good. It's so good. One of the things you said, and it's in alignment exactly with what you're talking about. You said also invest in yourself. And so many people, it isn't even just about investing in the business, investing in the coach you need, investing in the ingredients you need, investing in all of those people. I mean, you need those things,
Yes.
those things are so valuable. I
know we get ready to drop, but I want to share one thing.
Yes.
And it's a difference, everyone. I'm not talking about self-care.
No.
But there's a big self-care campaign going on. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about honor.
Right.
Honoring the gift of who you are.
Yes. Yes. Well, you know what? And really quick, because I know I'm looking at the time too. A precious close friend of mine who's also is my coach and mentor as well, Vinu, and she has a show, and I just love Vinu. But she actually, we've had conversations about self-care, and she just went on this fun trip and met friends and, did Disney, kind of like when you went to Dubai, but it was, and honored who she was in joy, honored her playfulness, honored those things, and really filled her cup because she serves at such a high level. And it was such a joy for me to see her do that, and I was so, and continue to be so excited. I want to thank you so much for being here today, and Eduardo, our producer, and worldwide also. But really, thank you, Donna, for being here today. Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook as Donna Izzard.
Okay.
Or DonnaIzzard.com. DonnaIzzard.com.
That's great.
It's simple. My first and last name.com. I'm also on Instagram as Donna Izzard.
Okay, they will find you. And really quick, I want to say that this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out http://spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. And while you're living that, I want you to please live your victorious life. Reach out to us. Let me know exactly how you are creating that victorious life and what do you have to believe to create that victorious life. We thank you. We love you. We are so excited. This was just a blast. Thank you so much, Donna, for spending your time with us today.
Thank you.
So much value. And yes, I do have notes. I took notes again. I always do. Even just having a fun conversation, I took notes. So thank you so much. And we will see you next Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. with Hedia Muramati. Will be on our show next week. It's going to be great. Just stay tuned and you'll see different things that we post this week about it. Thanks again and have such a great, victorious week. Thank you.